Hello there. Welcome to JoyNews Today. We're coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomimle, and we're broadcasting on the DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, around the world on myjoyonline.com, as well as Facebook, X Spaces, and on YouTube. My name is Sweetie Abochi. Our top stories this hour: former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia makes a pitch to over 200 former MMDCEs, that is Metropolitan, Municipal, and District Chief Executives of the New Patriotic Party, right here in Accra, as the race to lead the opposition NPP heats up. Also in this bulletin, government considers suspending price stabilization and recovery levy to cushion consumers if the Israel-Iran conflict escalates and pushes global oil prices higher than expected. This bulletin will tell you details of that as government assures of enough fuel reserves in the country. Plus, there's demolition of weak and dilapidated buildings underway across the Cape Coast metropolis after collapse of an old-story building killed persons. These plus business, sports, and showbiz in this one-hour package on the JoyNews channel. Please stay for details. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. Now to our very first story. This afternoon, government is considering suspending the price stabilization and recovery levy as part of its efforts to cushion consumers against a potential surge in global oil prices should the Iran-Israel conflict escalate further. The conflict has already triggered a 3% rise in global oil prices since markets reopened following the U.S. strike on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. Speaking to Joy News, spokesperson for the Energy Ministry, Richmond Roxon, assured that there is enough fuel reserves, and should the war escalate further, it does not mind using the price stabilization levy to support consumers. Before we listen to Roxon, here is a report capturing the major events since the war began. Listen to Richmond Roxon now as he assures that government is putting measures in place to reduce the impact of the war on the economy.
Country to ensure that in the immediate term we don't have any shortage of fuel on the local market. We have enough reserves to take us between 2 to 3 months. If you look at what BOST has and also what the BDCs also have. So one, we have enough reserves. And number two, whether or not government will take a decision cushion consumers using the price stabilization levy, for example, will depend on the impact. So there are a number of measures that government has put in place. But what the impact will be on the international fuel market will trigger which option the government should use. For now, there's a price stabilization levy, which is in the price build-up for some of these measures. And depending on how the impact is, the government has a number of options to exercise. You know, there are levies and margins on it.
Even if it comes to suspending it, they don't mind suspending it.
Well, if that is what will give the people of Ghana some respite within the period, government's options are open. At the end of the day, the government will take the appropriate measure to protect the consumer.
Well, we'll bring you more details on that story. But now let's get into Cape Coast stories, because the Metropolitan Assembly has begun demolishing weak and dilapidated buildings across the metropolis. And this follows the death of 2 individuals caused by the collapse of an old-story building in a community known as London Bridge after heavy rains on Saturday morning. Metropolitan Chief Executive George Justice Arthur says the Assembly has identified high-risk areas and has begun to pull down all structures deemed unsafe.
And also make some tools and other, how do you call it, excavators and other things available, so that they will be able to save them or evacuate or retrieve them from the place. Honestly, about 5 of them, 3 of them were able to be retrieved. And 2 of them, after we went through hassle to ensure they were also retrieved. They were elderly persons. They were actually passed on. So it was a sad event. It was a sad news for us. So they were sent to mortuary. 3 of them were also sent to hospital. As at now, I'm speaking with you, they are receiving treatment at the hospital as I'm speaking with you.
So following that, 3 buildings have been demolished. That's at yesterday. I think Saturday rather, not Sunday. Who owns these buildings?
Yeah, if you come to Cape Coast, you realize that most of the buildings are ancient buildings. They were built from 1902, 18, so because Cape Coast is an ancient town with a lot of history. So they are, most of them are dilapidated. They are in dilapidated state.
Does it mean you don't know the owners of these buildings? You're saying that there are a lot of them in Cape Coast, so you don't know the owners.
We know them. We know them. We spoke with the owners that looking at the situation and trying to actually prevent this from happening again. We just have to talk to them to ensure that their burden is demolished. So they agreed to it. We built consensus. They agreed to it that we should do that. And that is how come we are trying to demolish most of the burden. And we are still talking to some others. As soon as they agree, we need to actually demolish.
Well, this is an active developing story, so we want to get more details from a Central Regional correspondent, Abigail Nkrumah, who joins us with some updates. Abigail, thanks for joining us. So what more can you tell us about the demolition exercise going on right now in Cape Coast?
Okay, so today I was at exactly where the collapse happened. We just spoke to the Regional Fire Command who came here this morning to access the area, see everything that has gone on so far. And she says, although they know that the other security agencies and ADMO are doing their best, they are also trying to survey the area and see how best the fire service can also help to prevent such an incident from happening again. At the site, all debris has been cleared and activities in the area are going on. The demolition exercise is also ongoing. The MC did say that it is not a 2-day or a 3-day job, so it's going to be continuous. Today, everywhere is calm actually. When I went to the site, there were no machines for demolition, but the MC did say it won't be a 1-day or a 2-day job. It will be happening soon. And he did also say that they are still speaking to some owners of some of the buildings marked for demolition. They haven't been able to get in touch with them yet, but they are still speaking to them. As soon as they reach a consensus or agree with the owners, some of these buildings will also be coming down as well.
Well, Abigail, help us understand or gauge the reaction of residents, either those who may be connected to the building, the owners, or people who are just looking on and seeing this happening. What is the feeling? What is the atmosphere now? Abigail, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I want you to help us gauge the reaction or response from residents in Cape Coast on the back of this demolition exercise, especially those who might be connected to the owners of these buildings. Have you got any response from them yet? Well, Central Regional Correspondent Abigail Nkrumah is having some technical challenges, and we will, of course, engage her in a subsequent bulletin to bring you more details. But in other stories, former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is meeting with over 200 former metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives of the New Patriotic Party at Alisa Hotel right here in Accra. This meeting comes amid the heated race to lead the opposition party, the NPP, with the flag bearership election scheduled for January 31st, 2026. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's meeting with the former MMDCEs follows his recent engagement with over 60 NPP members of parliament who have declared their support for his anticipated bid. The former vice president is widely expected to contest the flag bearership position, and this show of support from the key party stakeholders suggests he remains a strong contender. Let's take you live to the event's grounds and speak to Kenneth Jesse, who's there for us. Kenneth, You are live on the grounds of Alisa. Please report.
Well, indeed. So the pavilion behind me is where the closed-door meeting is currently ongoing, and it has over 200 former MMDCs who have gathered there. Now, it's important to note that Dr. Baumia's main contender, Kennedy Japan, also hosted over 260 former MMDCEs of the party just over the weekend. So the race seems to be heating up a bit, as you rightly mentioned. I've also seen some members of parliament, some of them who showed up at his campaign office just over the weekend to also emphatically declare their support for him. Now, we do not know whether they there or the former MMDCs there are there to throw their weight behind him as the MPs in Parliament did, because for the MPs in Parliament, for instance, we knew beforehand that they were meeting to officially declare and throw their support behind him. But with the whispers we are hearing inside, it appears that Dr. Bawumia is selling his mission, is selling his message to the former MDCs to try and see they will get on board and support him. So the race is really heating up. We're getting indication that most of them have already declared their support for him, but we do not know whether all of them inside this room are going to throw their support behind him. So really, we are waiting to see the outcome of the meeting, which will be some few minutes away from now, sweetie.
Of course, we'll come back to you when you have more to report. But have you cited any of his contenders there?
Obviously not. None of his contenders are here. They are not expected to be here, but as I mentioned earlier, I've cited some certain members of parliament. I've also cited a former Greater Accra Regional Minister, Titus Glover, here as well, and of course some other former MMDCEs. So indeed, this closed-door meeting will take a while before it concludes, but of course, whatever fallout that comes out of it, we will let our viewers know.
Kenneth Jesse there, reporting live from the Alisa Hotel, where former Vice President Dr. Mamudu Bawumia is meeting with some 200 former MMDCEs of the New Patriotic Party. Now, this afternoon, government is considering suspending the price stabilization and recovery levy as part of efforts to cushion consumers against a potential surge in global oil prices should the Israel-Iran conflict escalate further. The conflict has already triggered a 3% rise in global oil prices since markets reopened, and that is following the U.S. strike on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. There's a report capturing the major event since the war began.
The Israel-Iran conflict erupted on June 13, 2025, when Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, targeting over 100 Iranian sites, including nuclear facilities and military bases. In retaliation, Iran unleashed waves of missiles and drones on Tel Aviv and other Israeli cities. The initial Israeli strikes resulted in the death of Iran's wartime chief of staff, General Ali Shadmani. So far, the conflict has left over 700 people dead and more than 3,000 injured across both countries. As tensions escalated, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called on the United States to intervene.
Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular
On June 22, the U.S. formally entered the war under Operation Midnight Hammer, deploying bunker-busting bombs and cruise missiles to strike key Iranian nuclear sites. The American intervention has drawn sharp condemnation from global powers, including China and Russia. In response, Iran has threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic waterway through which approximately 20% of the world's oil supply flows daily, raising fears of major disruption to global.
Well, that brings us up to date in terms of the Israel-Iranian war. Meanwhile, policy analyst Peter Tekpe is urging governments to restore Bulk Oil Storage and Transportation Company Limited, that is BOST, to avert future shocks.
The focus, if government had enough fuel reserves, then we wouldn't have a problem. And what will happen is that whilst prices are going up, then government will have been releasing the reserves into the system. That is why it's important that a strategic asset like BOST and TOR, they need to be working. So that when you have enough reserves, then when there is such impact, in order to, cushion the impact on the Ghanaian, what you do is that you release this reserve into the system. A practical example, assuming Ghana has 5 months of stock, of fuel, for instance. In this scenario, whilst prices are going up, then government will be releasing this into the system so that the cost of fuel price that is going up will be diluted with this strategic reserve that we have. Unfortunately, we don't have that.
Let's do some health stories because Ghana's Mpox case count has risen to 117 after 10 new cases were confirmed by the Ghana Health Service. The Ghana Health Service says no hospitalization and deaths have been reported. It also warns fever, rash and swollen lymph nodes are common signs and implores the public to avoid close contact and keep their hands clean. What you see on your screen right now is that graphics that really explains what the Ghana Health Service is saying. As we speak, they have 10 new confirmed cases, 117 confirmed cases in total. No deaths recorded, no fatalities, and no one is on admission or no one has been hospitalized. But they're cautioning that we should avoid close proximity with people who exhibit these signs like rash and what we already elaborated on. So this is coming from the Ghana Health Service. Now, in Ghana, football is more than a game. It's a passion, a lifeline, and a way out. But beneath the cheers lies a growing danger that has turned stadiums into battlegrounds. In our latest Hotline documentary, Scars of Hooliganism, Haruna Mubarak uncovers the brutal toll of fan violence on key stakeholders, including players, referees, and supporters. Here is an excerpt.
2025, Nsantreman FC versus Asante Kotoko. A match that should have been remembered for football, but was not. Nsantreman won 1-0, but the victory was marred by chaos. Tensions boiled over on the pitch and in the stands. And in the end, a Kotoko supporter was stabbed to death.
The ambulance no way.
Ever wonder how it feels to lose a husband? Gifty's pain was palpable and almost unbearable.
Wakache mi so hema misi yes wakache mi se mani ulem misi mo be ulem mate 3 o'clock mi kuna wona menti se mi kuna Jesus ready hu me mabo wate ready hu me mabo ijo nya kopo hu me mabo ebeneze nya me misi hu me mabo Midday
Football stopped. A 33-day mourning. The Ghana Football Association responded with enhanced protocols, but the pain ran deeper than policies.
Mr. Speaker, I was very sad to hear my colleague mention that they were struggling to get very simple first aid. You don't have ambulances. You have no business playing football in such a field. That is a death trap. But we go there and nothing happens, so we think that is a football field. No. What was the police situation at the football field? Where were the police? What was the requirement of security that was supposed to be upheld in the stadium? In this particular instance, the information we have is that this young man had been threatened prior to the match, and that the security agencies should have known that what happened to the young man could happen. I would like to call on you to direct the ministry of Sports to take this matter very seriously. And that if the GFA cannot follow rigorous protocols for licensing our football stadia, we should not be playing football as a country.
Well, the full documentary airs across all our media platforms today, so be on a lookout and watch for yourself. Now, 3 days, hundreds of patrons, dozens of vendors, and one powerful message: home ownership dreams are within reach. The EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair Clinic at the Achimota Retail Center wrapped up on a very high note. And Jacqueline Ansomayabwa brings you the highlights in this wrap-up report.
These metal doors on the second end, oh my goodness, they're absolutely wonderful.
Throughout the weekend, the fairgrounds buzzed with excitement as foot traffic steadily grew. Patrons came with diverse goals, some in search of land, others seeking interior design inspiration, and many simply eager to learn. But they all left with one thing in common: a deep sense of satisfaction.
Oh, it's actually been amazing. I mean, they've been friendly enough. One lady actually assisted me. Was actually dragging me to download an app and buy one of their services, and I think it's a good thing.
Amazing. When I was driving through, I heard they were interviewing few reps here, and it was interesting. I've visited few stands.
They have interesting offerings, so I think I'll encourage everyone to come here and, you know.
I was about to tell you that you should tell the camera that whoever is not here should make it here.
Yeah. So make it here before 6.
Returning and first-time exhibitors say this edition brought in genuine buyers, great visibility, and strong leads.
As the day goes by, we get more people coming in to do more requests. So today has been a very busy day for me. As you can see, I'm sweating profusely on my face. Yeah. So thank you so much for this platform to market ourselves and what we sell. We thank you so much.
Experience is very splendid, very wonderful. I mean, it's been amazing getting more customers there. It's so nice. So we look forward in partnering with you people for long, because we wouldn't have come this time around if we are not soliciting or getting any good something in return. It has been a massive change since we partner with Joy Prime, and we look forward to partnering with you people. We are going to Koforidua.
Head of marketing at the multimedia group, Max Fuga, says the success of the Achimota Clinic is only the beginning. He assured patrons that more mini clinics are on the way, all building momentum toward the main event later this year.
The next clinic will be next month at the Accra Mall. From the Accra Mall, we are going to Tema. From Tema, we are going to Koforidua, which is the new addition this year. And then the main fair will take place in August at the Accra International Conference Center.
As the lights dim on the Achimota edition, one thing is clear: the path to affordable, comfortable, and luxurious living is just getting started. Jacqueline Ansomayebo's report read to you.
To me, can I get a little bit of discounts? There are no discounts here. Oh, there are.
Little discounts because the margins are tight, but we do the best to make the customers happy. So.
Well, if you missed the Achimota Retail Center Clinic, be on the lookout, because we'll be popping up somewhere else. It's a month-long event that the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair is bringing to you. On that note, let's break into business now. Well, business come right up shortly, but before that, Ghana, as the chair of the International Atomic Energy Agency, that is the IAEA, is calling for dialogue and diplomatic pathways to resolve the conflict. JoyNews' editor Fred Smith joins me in the studio, joins me via Zoom actually, with more details. And Fred Smith, what in the statements that we are seeing coming from the Foreign Affairs Ministry?
Well, government believes that diplomacy is the only viable path to resolving the war between Israel and Iran. And in an earlier statement, the Foreign Affairs Ministry also called on Israel to reconsider its stance and joined the ongoing diplomatic talks, warning that the devastating impact of the conflict is already being felt across the international community.
Well, thank you so much for bringing us details of that statement, Fred Smith. And let's bring you the statement, and it says, the government of Ghana welcomes today's Europe-Iran diplomatic rapprochement, which is aimed at achieving a cessation of heightened hostilities between Israel and Iran. We take the considered view that this diplomatic initiative should be embraced and encouraged by the international community. Ghana has always maintained that sincere and genuine diplomatic engagement is the only viable, pragmatic, and humane option to resolving the current conflict. As chair of the governing board of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Ghana has consistently championed dialogue and diplomatic pathways towards resolving the concerns of all parties. Ghana urges Israel to reconsider its position and participate in the ongoing talks. The devastating effect of this conflict is already being felt by the entire international community, and further escalation will only exacerbate the consequences. Well, that's interesting to hear, because yesterday the British Prime Minister was saying that they have nothing to do with it. The Israeli Foreign Minister was saying that they are very happy. The Defense Secretary of the United States is saying that the ammunition specifications reached the desired target and they got the desired result. So it's interesting to see how Ghana plays into all of this. But in other stories, a new assessment and counseling hub established by the African Disability Institute in Ho is set to transform the lives of residents, particularly children, by providing free, essential health and psychological services focused on vision and hearing impairments. Funded by the Japanese government through its grant assistance for grassroots human security projects, the facility will promote social inclusion by delivering critical services to persons with disabilities and the wider community. So there's more in this report.
The African Disability Institute bettered an idea to establish a center to curb the prevalence of vision and hearing impairment, especially among children. With about 86,000 Ghana cedis from the Chinese government through the grant assistance for grassroots humanity security projects, a disability hub was constructed to provide essential services. It is equipped with ophthalmology and audiology equipment for diagnosis of vision and hearing conditions. It would also serve as an advisory center for persons with disability and their families. Pastor Charles Nyante is the Director of Operations of the African Disability Institute.
Basically, it is for early assessment of disability conditions of children, including babies, so that as it is assessed early and detected early, the intervention can also be done immediately.
The Director of the African Disability Institute, Francis Asson, hinted that the hub's services would be extended to hard-to-reach areas.
So, as I said, it is open for free to the general public, and everyone from Monday to Friday, anyone can walk in, but we are specifically focusing on school children or learners around and the whole municipality to start with. As an organization, what we intend rather doing is to engage on outreach program where we work together with the key stakeholders, Teaching Hospital and many others. So we go for outreach program, use the equipment here to the communities, strain eyes, and then make the necessary diagnosis, and then also referral.
The Japanese ambassador to Ghana, Hiroshi Yoshimoto, underscored the significance of the project aimed at promoting social inclusion.
All the countries, including Ghana, is seeking the inclusive society where no one, including the people with disability, should not be left behind. So we very much, put priority on the support in the field of the assistance for the people with disabilities.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News. Ho.
Now, the Energy Commission, in partnership with the Ghana Education Service and Ghana TVET Service, has hosted the 6th Volta Regional Renewable Energy Challenge in Ho. With the theme, Sustainable Energy for a Healthier Future, the event saw brilliant students from 10 senior high schools unveil groundbreaking solutions in renewable energy, food security, and health delivery. At the Dome Senior High School emerged champions, proving that the future of clean energy innovation may well lie in the hands of these young visionaries. Ivy Setoji tells us more.
This year's regional competition was held under the theme Sustainable Energy for a Healthier Future. The focus areas include food security, waste management, and health delivery. The competition provided a platform for second cycle institutions to develop research skills, promote technological innovation in renewable energy and energy efficiency, and instill in students a passion for solving challenges related to renewable energy, clean energy, energy efficiency, and climate change. The initiative also aimed to develop the presentation and communication skills of senior high school students. 10 schools participated in the regional challenge. They are Zion College, Aveno Senior High, Bando Technica, Ango Senior High, Awudome Senior High, Adidome Senior High, Peche, Vakpo, Chito, and Peki. And his opening remarks, the Volta Regional Director of the Ghana Education Service, Francis Agbemadi, proposed that organizers and stakeholders explore how to institutionalize post-challenge support. He suggested the creation of incubation centers, funding avenues, patent assistance, and mentorship frameworks to help transform students' brilliant ideas into impactful, sustainable solutions.
I respectfully propose that we explore how to institutionalize post-challenge support through incubation centers, funding avenues, patent assistance, and mentorship framework to help transform these brilliant ideas into impactful, sustainable solutions. In the light of this, I appeal to all stakeholders, government bodies, private sector organizations, development partners, NGOs, philanthropists, and the wider community to rally behind this vision. Supporting innovation in education is not an act of charity. It is a strategic investment in Ghana's future. Let us equip our young people with resources and platforms they need to convert their creativity into meaningful impact.
Deputy Director in charge of renewable energy at the Energy Commission, Frederick Appiah, explained the rationale behind the project, stating that it helps students bring out innovative ideas that can contribute to national development.
Well, business comes right after this break. But before we go, let me remind you that it's 5 days, the 2025 Joy News Impact Makers Awards this Saturday, June the 28th. Be our special guest as we celebrate 10 finalists making extraordinary impact. Business right after this.
Welcome back to Business here on Joy News Today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Government failed to meet its Treasury bills target for the 4th consecutive week. According to the auction result by the Bank of Ghana, it missed the target by about 24%. There is more in this report.
Investors prefer the Bank of Ghana bills, which offer a rate higher than inflation. The Treasury got 3.379 billion Ghana cedis, as against the target of 4.551 billion Ghana cedis. However, accepted 2.952 billion Ghana cedis. The majority of the bids came from the 91-day bill, with investors offering 62.418 billion Ghana cedis. The government, however, accepted 2.191 billion cedis of the bids. For the 182-day bill, investors tendered only 716.29 million Ghana cedis. A little over 236 million of the bids came from the 364-day bill. The Treasury, however, accepted 157.76 million Ghana cedis of the bids. Meanwhile, interest rates continued to reduce, but marginally on the yield curve. The yield on the 91-day bill went down by a basis point to 14.69%. That of the 182-day bill, however, remained unchanged at 15.25%. The yield on the 364-day bill fell to 15.69% from the previous weeks of 15.74%.
Now, away from that, the General Manager of TCL, Sunny Yan, has reaffirmed the company's commitment to delivering high-quality, valuable product to Ghanaian consumers as TCL Ghana officially launched its latest line of electronics at Kempinski Hotel in Accra.
TCL Ghana has unveiled its newest range of electronic products at a grand launch event held at the Kempinski Hotel in Accra. The event brought together key stakeholders, industry players, and media partners, highlighting TCL's expansion strategy and customer-focused approach in the Ghanaian market. Speaking at the event, General Manager of TCL Ghana, Sunny Yang, emphasized the company's dedication to delivering high-quality and valuable products tailored to meet the needs of Ghanaian consumers.
Actually, from our TCL MEA side, we would like to first provide the high quality and valuable product to our consumers, and also we want to get in the positive market share in each country. So come to Ghana at the same way. So we would like to provide the excellent and a wide range of product to Ghana consumers. At the same time, of course, the market share, and we would like to grab the positive market share.
At the TCL Accra launch, Managing Director of Electroland Ghana Limited, Mr. Noel Saklaria, highlighted the company's strategic role as the sole distributor of TCL products in Ghana. According to him, EGL covers all 16 regions nationwide, ensuring the TCL's innovative electronics, from televisions to air conditioners, reach every Ghanaian home.
We currently cover the whole of Ghana. We are the only distributor that cover nationwide, all the regions. And then we are making sure that TCL can reach any Ghanaian home from north to south, from west to east. Whenever they do a launching globally, we immediately follow within less than a month to launch it here locally. And today you will see a huge range of electronics that is latest technology in all categories. TCL has positioned itself in the latest technology with affordable prices. So you can see other brands in the market, but maybe with much higher prices. So TCL can bring you the same technology, if not even better, with the lower prices and more affordable.
With nationwide coverage and a focus on affordability and innovation, TCL through Electroland Ghana Limited is positioning itself as a top choice for quality electronics.
We have more business update for you on the marketplace at 1 p.m. My name is Winston Taki. Up next is sports.
Time now to bring you sports here on JoyNews Today with me, Muftao Nabila Abdullah. Have you ever been to the Ghana Premier League Centre where moments after you thought you were enjoying football, your life immediately comes under danger? Well, this is the experience of many footballers and referees who have chosen to give their all to a sport they've grown up loving. And one of such is former Real Tamale United player Abdul Nawaz, whose career was curtailed because he was brutally assaulted by some football fans during a Division 1 league match between Real Tamale United and Insuatraman about 4 seasons ago. In our latest series of documentaries put together by Joy Sports, my colleague Haruna Mubarak has been speaking to the player and a Scars of Hooliganism documentary. That is later tonight.
Players, the heartbeat of the sport, are not spared. Their only crime was wearing the badge of their club with pride. On February 7, 2021, Abubakar Nawaz was living his dream, playing for Tamale-based side Real Tamale United. In a Division 1 league match against Nswatreman in Nswatre, he encountered the darkest moment of his career.
We were going to our dressing room and there was this lady. I think there's this one particular lady, the recent incident, they mentioned her name. She was standing at the exit where we will pass. So our captain was coming to enter and he pushed him back. So then he went ahead to even slap our captain. So our captain was also trying to retaliate. Then the whole incident started. They started stoning us from all angles. You will run and pass here, a stone is coming. Run and pass here, a stone is coming. So I was just there and one boy shouted, Adibayo. When I just turned, a stone came and hit my head. And that...
Which part of your head?
I think it was here. So it was very unfortunate because the stone was heavy, and God really saved me because that stone that hit me, and I think I was injured. I was bleeding. All my dress was.
This documentary comes your way at 8:30 p.m. here on the Joy News channel. Up next is Showbiz.
Hello there, good afternoon. You're welcome to the Showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline Ansuma Yabua. To a first story for today, Professor Toyin Falola, a distinguished scholar of African history at the University of Texas, has called for the preservation of Africa's rich cultural legacies by adopting creative practices. He highlights the depth of African ideas in food, music, and beyond, urging the integration into modern creative industries as exemplified by global success of Afrobeat fusion of traditional and contemporary sounds. He admonishes creatives to take a cue and preserve their originality against westernization.
Must know about them, because it's by knowing about them that they will create innovations. And we have seen the capacity to create these innovations from Afrobeats, in which people like Davido, Ashake, Burna Boy and taking the ideas of the past, reforming them to use. We've seen them in creative designs. We've seen them in Nollywood, Ghanawood, and scholars can also follow suit. What were the food of the past that we have abandoned that is good for us? What are the drinks of the past that is good for us? What are the environmentally sustainable fabric that is good for us? Don't let us.
Well, away from that story, the Kivo Pepper Soup Challenge that took place in the Big Chef's kitchen last Sunday saw the remaining 10 contestants enter the kitchen hoping to escape eviction at the end of the episode. Unfortunately, Elaine's Kivo Pepper Soup with noodles and Raina's Special Noodles Soup failed to impress the judges, costing them their spots in the competition. Joy Prime's Lois Adeyemi has more in the following report.
Big Chef!
Episode 7 of Big Chef Junior saw the remaining 10 wannabe kiddie chefs stepped in ready to impress the judges in the Kivo Pepper Soup Challenge. All contestants were given 5 minutes to shop from the open market and 40 minutes to whip up their meals.
We have 40 minutes. Yeah, this is soup and accompaniment. So just 40 minutes, 5 minutes to pick up your ingredients, then the 35 minutes to prepare your soup at the same time, your kabo at the same time.
The slicing and chopping of ingredients mixed with spicy aroma in the kitchen, Kankati Kivo spices, only proved that the contestants were more than ready to impress the judges. They were constantly reminded to work smart and fast to avoid falling on the eviction list. The 40 minutes elapsed and the contestants presented their meals to the judges.
I dedicate my meal to Mohammed Kudus.
To
He
who?
is Mohammed Kudus.
Okay.
He is my inspiration, and I salute Kivu. So I present to you Champion Taste.
This
is my light soup and my banku.
The light soup.
So this one is not the old banku, it's the normal banku. I present to you Kivo sizzling soup. Today I present to you Executive J's rice care.
The taste of Sewa's Champion Taste meal did not only make the judges smile, but move them to name her Star Chef of the Day. Her creativity, smart work, and kitchen skills were commended by the judges.
I believe by the time you are done tasting, I go score more points.
Her presentation was top-notch, as Chef Kofi will always say. It goes to consistency. Was right. It goes to Chef Sewa.
Jaden, his sister Rena, and Eliane sadly found themselves in the bottom 3. Judges, after deliberating, saved Jaden as they believe he can do better.
I'm seeing improvement. Okay, so probably you hand over the battle to your brother. So together we save your brother, and the two of you go home. Okay, right? So Jaden, you are saved. The two will go home today.
Well, that's because Elaine and Rena, you are the bottom 2.
Great.
Unfortunately, your journey ends here.
Eliane and Rena were evicted and said their goodbyes. They were encouraged to keep working hard and never stop the art of finding and creating amazing recipes. Big Chef, good meals by K.
On that note, is a wrap for the showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Samar Yabwa. But for more showbiz stories, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Over to you, CT.
Well, thank you, Jacqueline and Samar Yabwa, for bringing us all the beautiful stories in entertainment. And that's how we're wrapping up the bulletin. And like she said, for more news stories, log on to myjoyonline.com. It's the most credible news portal where you can find stories like the latest top story declaring state of emergency over illegal mining is premature, according to Mustafa Bande. My name is Sweetie. Well, thank you for your time on Joy News Today. It's a wrap for now. I'm Sweetie Abochi. Until we meet next time, hopefully on the AM show tomorrow, it's bye for now.